Welcome to the Student Voice on Air, a radio show written, hosted, edited, and produced by journalism and FTVM media students at Moorpark College. The focus is on current news and issues, along with informative interviews. I'm your host, Steven Suarez, and on this week's edition, we will be featuring Leslie Kivett, Francisco Molina, Andrew Mason, and Casey Ahern. You're listening to 101.5 KMCJ Moorpark College Jams. Let's get started with Leslie on campus news.
Hey, everybody.
What's up, Leslie?
Hey.
I want the listeners to know that every time Steven does the intro, I always mimic his movements. I go, 101.5 KMC Moorpark College Jam. Anyway, all right. Just want to let you guys know that I make fun of my friends a lot. All right, no laughing. Next week is International Education Week at Moorpark College. You guys ever been to one of these?
I have not. What can you tell me about it?
So there's going to be lots of talks from different, authoritative sources on studying abroad and how it can help broaden your mind, your culture, and maybe even help you get a job later.
Nice.
There's going to be tons of talks. There's going to be a talk on Monday, November 14th, about life-defining experiences that you can have abroad and how they may help define you as an individual and even build out your resume. That's also included in a talk called The Benefits of International Education from Leanne Allen, also on Monday. So the whole event goes from Monday, Tuesday, skips Wednesday, and then reconvenes on Thursday for more in-depth coverage of how to apply for study abroad, funding for it, where you can go, and sort of just a bunch of the benefits.
Nice. And study abroad's nice because it just exposes you to so much culture and knowledge that you wouldn't necessarily get when you're in a classroom environment.
I just think it opens you up to an entirely different way of looking at the world through language, food, everything.
Yeah.
I'm going to Tokyo for my transfer. So
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I'm already on top of this, man. I should be speaking. So speaking of studying abroad, if you'd like to get a head start at that, maybe just for a little bit, there are going to be some theater arts, including a music class and an acting class this upcoming summer semester that starts in May 22nd. They'll be spending 9 days in London and Paris.
Nice.
Yeah. Like I said, that is a class that takes place next summer semester over 9 days from June 5th to June 13th. Basically, they want to put the culture, the history, the architecture, the food, everything about those places in sort of an educational context so that they can bring it into the studies that they're there for. So musical, acting, more cultural sort of representation of those countries.
Yeah, I took a music history class and a lot of it was based upon Western European culture, whether it's London and Paris. So I see how it definitely ties in, and being there really, exposes you to that knowledge.
100%. So if you want to sign up for this class, you can contact Nathan Bowen at nbowen@vccccd.edu or John Leprino at jleprino, same email address or extension. The trip is close to $4,000 if you want to go on this trip for the classes. For people under 30, it's about $3,800. For people over 30, it's almost $4,000. So keep that in mind. Traveling abroad is expensive, but
Totally worth it, though.
it might be
It
something
is worth it.
totally
It's a unique experience.
totally worth it.
You can't get anywhere else.
Yeah, exactly. Every time I've traveled, it's been just oh yeah, this was worth the tremendous amount of money that I just saved up to do it. Yeah. So if you're looking to do something a little bit closer to campus and not overseas or abroad or anything like that, on December 3rd, which is just next month, we'll be having the Xtreme Raider Challenge, which is an obstacle course set up by the Flex Club on campus. You're flipping tires, you're running, you're doing all sorts of athletic things that you'll never catch me doing. So in the studio today, we have supervisors for the Xtreme Raider Challenge. That's Crystal Cassese and Adrian Quiroz. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you. Yeah, this is great. Yeah, so the Xtreme Raider Challenge, it is a 1 mile obstacle course race. It's going to be out in the athletic
I'm
fields.
already exhausted.
And in the stadium on the football field. So it's 1 mile. Definitely going to be about, 15, 20 obstacles, I believe?
I'd say around, 15, 20 obstacles.
Yeah.
How many swinging death pendulums?
0, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, maybe next year. You never know. We like to be extreme, so.
Yeah. With the word extreme in the name, I'm thinking like just spiked balls,
Fire.
Right.
pits of flaming fire. Yeah, just
Right.
death everywhere.
You would think that, but no, it's an event that everyone can do, all fitness levels,
Yeah.
all age groups.
Yeah, what I like to say is like, it's the Xtreme Raider challenge. It's extreme, it's mean, but it was made for the average human being.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah.
Where was that rhyming when doing sound levels?
Well, it's gotta warm up to it. That's
So what are some specific obstacles? What are students going to be fighting against?
Okay, so we have plate carries. So, like 45-pound plates or 25-pound plates, even 35, I believe. You'll be carrying those, walking around.
Plates?
Or, yeah, like the
when
heavyweight,
dumbbell-
like the plates you put
dumbbell.
Oh, okay,
on,
okay, okay.
barbells.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Because I'm thinking
exactly.
like 25 pounds of food, and I'm like, okay, all right, you got me.
Right?
You got
That
me.
would be pretty
That's the
sweet.
extreme.
Eat it while you
Yeah.
walk.
Now I can go. I'm like, all right, I'm interested
Well,
now.
we're going to have the food truck there at Maria's Kitchen
Oh,
is here on
yeah.
campus. So they'll be there. So there'll be food. So the obstacles, they'll be doing bear crawls, running up stadium stairs. What else is there? There's
gonna be an army crawl section, so you're gonna have to be
yes.
under a
Oh,
little.
God.
Yeah. So that's
Are you
gonna
be
fun.
firing guns at the ground next to us
No.
to simulate warfare?
Maybe.
I
No,
don't think
no,
so,
we won't do that.
but
So it's a 1 mile obstacle course. How
Yes.
long do you project it to take the average person?
Anywhere between 12 to 18 minutes.
Too
We
long.
have
No.
we have 20-minute increments of each
wave.
Each
Each-
wave,
yeah,
yeah,
each
basically
wave.
each
Oh,
heat.
okay.
So it's a 9:20, 9:40, and so on until 12 o'clock.
yeah,
So
so we'll
great.
have 30 competitors going for each heat. We have tons of people signing up from different health classes, fitness classes. I know some instructors are signing up as well. So if you decide to race, you could be in the same heat with one of your instructors. So
God.
yeah, makes for a great time, but
Yeah,
it's
make some bets with your instructors, for a grade.
So are students who are in the same heat together, is like a competition to see who can finish first?
yeah, it's more of
Or is it just survive? Just try.
basically to survive. You can compete against your friends, for time, so you get the best time, bragging rights.
Yeah, some bragging rights.
Yeah, exactly. Otherwise, like some people, like Adrian said, maybe making bets with someone,
some
like,
wagers.
or even set a goal for yourself. Say, I want to finish it in 20 minutes, or I want to finish it in 11 minutes, or just kind of see where, just kind of compete against yourself, I guess. Every competitor gets a competitor gift bag, so they'll have like freebies in it. You get a T-shirt. I should have brought one, but you get a T-shirt for signing up as a competitor. You get a competitor bag. We'll have the festival area there, so there's going to be tons of different vendors. Yeah, sponsors, vendors.
okay.
They'll have their booths there, and so they'll be doing different raffles and stuff too. We're also going to have at our Flex booth, they'll be doing raffles and silent auction. So competitors, when they sign up for the early registration, which is through Monday, November 14th, it's $25.
Okay.
If they sign up for late registration, November 15th through November 23rd, it's $35. So if they sign up, they get, for early registration, they get raffle tickets that they can put in.
What does the money go towards? You said I had silent auction.
Yeah, so silent auction, the money goes into our fitness specialist program.
Okay.
This year, we're actually doing a toy drive. So we're having people also
cool.
bring new unwrapped toys. We actually have our bins are going to be out on Raider Walk when we're doing our preview tables. So people donate toys, and we're giving those to local orphanages and international ones too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Only athletic toys or?
Any kind
no.
of toys. I know, right? Jump ropes. Well, of course, I think that would be really cool. But of course, anything. And it's just from ages 1 through 18. There's children of all needs.
Yeah.
So Adrian, I can tell you have some energy when talking about this.
Okay, right
I
on,
assume
right on.
you've done this before.
He brought the rhymes,
Yeah,
man.
dude. I've done the Xtreme Raider challenge 2 times back to back, 2014 and 2015. I wanted to do it this year as well, but I'm a supervisor for the internship, so I gotta little
Monitor
supervise, monitor, manage. Yeah, it's a fun event. In 2014, maybe I shouldn't say this, but I threw up, but that was
Nice.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm sold.
it was
You're
a
inspiring confidence,
extreme.
man.
it was, yeah, it's
Not an
extreme.
understatement.
But I pushed myself to the limit. I had a bad breakfast. I had weenies and eggs. Maybe not the best.
Great breakfast.
Yeah, but no. But that's because I push myself to the limit. You know, I'm an athlete, but you don't have to push yourself to the limit to where you want to throw up. But definitely,
I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but definitely it's fun. And then 2015 was a better year for me. I had a better breakfast.
All right. No weenies. No weenies.
Yeah.
More prepared.
What kind
I was more
breakfast would you
prepared and
recommend? What kind of breakfast
I
would
would
you recommend?
say something light with energy, maybe like some fruits,
Bananas. Good
yeah.
for that.
Carbohydrates.
Exactly. Water for sure. You want to be hydrated.
Yes.
Rain or shine, the event will go on, you know. But
Oh.
yeah,
That
That makes it
Oh.
extreme.
Yeah.
it's extreme. Yeah,
Our own editor, Casey,
Yeah,
will
I'll be doing it.
on the field.
right on, right on.
Two of my friends are
I'll
going
be
to be
taking
laughing
pictures.
the whole way.
Yeah. I'll be on the sidelines
awesome.
going,
Yeah.
But
That was my experience when I was on the Student Voice. Was I was just filming. I would not do it.
You're like, good.
but for sure, it's a fun event. You know, I did it with a few buddies, and we just had a little friendly competition during the race. You know, like, oh, like check this, I'm gonna jump over this, way cooler than you, and then we just jumped over the obstacle. You know, a little barrier.
We're going to fall on our face.
Yeah. You know, it could be. It doesn't have to be a cool jump. You know, it could be like a swab jump. You know, just a little slide or something. I don't know. But
How about like
anything.
1 foot over, 1 foot over?
Yeah,
Right.
just with
And-
slowly
style
waddling.
and class. Yeah.
And there's also an 8-foot wall that I'm sure.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, there's an
Little-
8-foot wall to jump over. There's
creating
like
a market
padding
for
to
9-foot
lad on.
ladders. Creating a market for 9-foot ladders.
Yeah, there you go.
Alrighty.
But-
So, December 3rd on Moorpark College's campus, the Xtreme Raider Challenge. Check it out.
Thank you so
very
much.
much for
Thank
joining us
you.
today,
Thank
guys.
you.
We'll see you out on the course.
Great.
Not me. You won't see me.
You'll see me.
We're excited. Yeah, definitely.
You're listening to 101.5 KMCJ Moorpark College Jams. I'm Steven Suarez, and this is the Student Voice on Air, a program about what's happening here at Moorpark College. Let's turn to Andrew and Francisco for the latest updates on Moorpark Raiders campus sports.
What's up, Steven? Thank you for that introduction.
I love introducing sports.
Somebody's hyped.
Well, you know what? I'm hyped because my personal favorite sport is back here on campus, men's basketball, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, our Raiders are off to a rocky start, going 0-2 in their first tournament on the season at Ventura College. First game, it's a little hard to say, but we lost 102-58 for Riverside College.
Wow.
But hey, there's some positives on the horizon. Our next game that was played on last Friday, we still lost, but it was only by 18 points. Final score 76-58 against Orange Coast. Let's take a look at the game. In the first half, it tied at the end of the first half at 29, so it was anyone's game at that point. But the second half is a completely different story. Orange Coast seemed to have all the energy, outscoring Moorpark College 47-29 to hand us an 18-point loss. Francisco, what are some areas this team can work on going forth into the season?
I think that some areas that they need to work on is their three-point shooting efficiency. They went 11 for 36 from downtown.
Ooh, that's not going to get the job done.
Right, and we had Coach on the podcast last week, and he said that there's a lot of three-point shooters on this team, but you know, with the three-point shot, sometimes you're going to win your games throughout that shot, and sometimes you're going to lose your game. But, you know, I think the 36 is a little bit too many shots for me.
That's almost half your possessions, and if you're going to be spending half your possession shooting threes, you need to convert more than 11 of them, more of the 15 to 16 range out of there.
I would have taken it differently. I would have told the guys, like the team, hey, we're just not getting it from downtown tonight. Let's try to drive in or anything. But it's all part of the process. That's why there's tournaments like this, so they can learn from this and progress forward.
Exactly. And here at Student Voice on Air, we don't want to focus only on the negatives. Let's look at some positives from this tournament. In the game versus Orange Coast, we did outnumber Orange Coast in blocks and fast break points. So what that shows me is we were capitalizing on Orange Coast mistakes. We were hustling. We did our job there. And I want to give a quick shout out to the 6'2" freshman out of Oxnard High School, Taylor Kirkham, who led the Raiders with 17 points, the only one in double figures. But Francisco, I know we got 2 early losses, but there's a lot more story left to be written in this one, huh?
Oh yeah, I mean, like Coach said last week, there's a lot of freshmen in this team.
Yeah, a
and,
lot of freshmen.
It's gonna take a couple games to see what kind of team they're gonna be throughout the season, but I definitely see a bright future with this group of guys.
Me too. We know Coach Link is gonna kind of whip them into shape. Next game, let's see if we can have a more positive result. Thursday, November 10th at 5 p.m. at Glendale College.
Definitely.
All right, let's move on to some other scores from around Moorpark College. Francisco, what can you tell me about Moorpark College men's soccer?
So our men's soccer team took on Allen Hancock last Friday. They got that L though, Andrew. Sadly,
no.
they lost 4-1. Their next game will be Tuesday, November 8th against Santa Barbara City College. It will be taking place at Santa Barbara. Friday, November 11th is their game. And Friday, November 11th is their home game against Oxnard College.
All right. Our women's soccer had a little bit better luck against Allen Hancock on Friday, grabbing a 7-0 win, guys.
Yes.
7.
That's huge. That's an annihilation. In their last 6 games, the women Raiders have only given up 6 goals and look to continue their 6-game winning streak with games Tuesday, November 8th at home versus Ventura, and the regular season closer on Friday,
done.
November 11th at
That's
SBCC. Francisco, real quick before we turn to our sports interview, tell me a little bit about our football team.
Our football team got that W against Cerritos College at home. It was a last-minute game-winning thriller. I was talking to one of the broadcasters of the game, Nathan Espinoza, telling me that they won the game with literally seconds left in the clock, and they will be taking on Santa Monica Community College November 12th, which is this Saturday at Santa Monica. So if you're open that day, make sure to support the guys in their last conference game of the season.
All right. Thank you, Francisco. All right, everybody. For our sports interview this week, we want to highlight one of the more notable and beloved figures here at Moorpark College. Women's volleyball head coach Steve Burkhart is retiring after 24 years of coaching our women's volleyball squad. Although the team will most likely reach playoffs, his final guaranteed home match will be Friday, November 11th here at Raider Pavilion. In his 24th season of coaching, the team is looking red hot with the 14-7 record currently in the season. Thank you very much for joining us today, Coach Burkhart.
You're welcome.
So, Coach, when did you know that this was going to be your final season coaching?
Well, actually, last year, I would say I wanted to recruit a team I thought was going to be special, and this group has really been pretty special for me. So a lot of great personalities and stuff.
Great. Yeah, we've had Cindy Norris and Carly Campbell on.
Right.
They're like one of my favorite people to interview because it's always fun with women's volleyball.
Yeah, they're great kids.
So, Coach, will you be retiring only from volleyball or as a teacher as well?
As a teacher as well. So I'll be 62 come April, and for me, I can retire with what we would say kind of full benefits. So I think it's just time to go do a few other things.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
So I know for a lot of people in the sports world that they're so focused game to game, day by day, that sometimes it's hard to see the broader picture of things.
Right.
Has it really sunk into you yet that you only have a few more weeks left coaching here?
I think it was hardest when I had to tell the team that, when I told the team that I wasn't going to come back.
When did you do that?
That was about 4 or 5 weeks ago.
Was that emotional?
It was emotional. The school has made it really simple for me, though, because we are going to hire a full-time kinesiology volleyball coach, which doesn't happen a lot of times. I've been through the hirings many, many times with, various different people. And so for the school to, go ahead and place a high priority on replacing me with a full-time person, I'm just really proud of that fact. So
wow, that's awesome. So let's take it back 24 years. If there is one thing that you wanted to accomplish before you retired, what was it, and have you done it?
Well, my first goal was to build up the respectability of the program. When I got here, I think they had won 1 or 2 games the previous year. So it was, I just thought that there's no reason for Moorpark College not to have a great volleyball program. So I just went ahead and made that my main focus. And within a couple, 3 years, by 1996, we had won a conference championship, had sent a team downstate. And we kind of continued to do that for a long time. I also should say I coached the men's team for 10 years. So I am just the women's volleyball coach. I also coached the men for 10 years. And that was some great times. We won 2 state championships. And we had
congrats.
some great guys that went through the school, too.
Awesome. So let's go back to present day today. You have 3 challenging 3 challenging games ahead of you.
Right.
What have you been telling your team to keep that positive energy going throughout the season?
Well, these 3 matches are going to determine pretty much where we end up as far as the playoffs is concerned. So trying to take them one at a time and trying to stay focused for Friday. I know there's a lot of stuff going on. It's our sophomore night as well. So that's kind of, I'm just trying to say, we go all the way to Cuesta, and it's a long bus ride, and it's a long bus ride home if you don't win. So I'm trying to stay focused on the present, one at a time kind of thing. So
That's awesome. I want to know, throughout your 24 years here, what has been your single favorite moment?
Oh, that's a tough question. Well, for me, it's about the relationships with the team. It has really nothing to do with the ones we won or the ones that we lost. I've had some real special people involved in this program. Nana Siegovich comes to my mind right away. She was the player of the year in the nation for women's volleyball, and she's a special player. And we've had a lot of really special kids out there. I mean, I'm hearing a lot of, I can't tell you how many Facebook messages I'm getting in the last few days, but it's just been crazy. And people remembering things I had forgotten and don't remember, and then getting another chuckle or another laugh at them. So really, it just comes down to that for me.
All right, what about your least favorite moment that maybe now looking back on it you can laugh about? Has there been any moments like that?
Well, I think probably the one thing that I remember most is when I first came here and I thought, okay, I coached high school for like 12, 13 years, and I was coming to college, and I'm like, okay, it's going to be all different. Everything's going to be different. They're going to be college students, and they're all going to be mature, and they're all going to be grown up.
Perfect adults, perfect students.
And I got here, and I was like, oh my gosh, I still have to deal with, things that, I wouldn't expect to have to deal with. But that was a bit tough, that transition.
So Coach, before we let you get out of here, 24 years have gone by. Mm-hmm. What is one tip of advice that you wish someone would have told you on your first day that you can tell to the new coach coming in next year? Well,
I would just say to them that, it's not always going to be easy. I mean, if it was easy, everybody would do it, they say. Mm-hmm. And I would say that it's going to take hard work. It's going to take a lot of time. It's going to take a lot of effort. I'm really hopeful that the full-time person we get in here is going to be able to carry on the tradition. I mean, I will say this. I think the Moorpark College volleyball program, both men's and women's, is respected throughout the state of California and the nation. We have, sent hundreds of people off to four-year universities. Wow. So I would say just keep working hard. You got to keep believing and don't ever rest. Don't be humble and don't ever rest, because you just can't do it. So if you want to be successful.
The words of a 24-year veteran, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us. I know you got practice soon. We'll let you get out there.
This is 101.5 KMCJ Moorpark College Jams. I'm Steven Suarez, and this is the Student Voice on Air. Here's Casey with entertainment news.
Thank you, Steven.
You're welcome. That's all I'm good for.
Oh, man.
So today we're going to be talking about an on-campus event, which includes Interruptions, which is the art showcase here at Moorpark College in the administration building.
That's every month, right? There's a new
showcase. Every month there's a new artist showcased in the administration building, just right when you walk in. It's to the, if you're walking in from
the Fountain Hall side.
It's to the left.
It's going to be right there.
Yep.
Right up to the president's office.
Exactly. So this month's is going to be Nancy Baker Cahill, and she's a freelance artist in the Moorpark area, and she's going to be showcasing her exhibition called Interruptions, which will be showcased until November 29th, and it's free of charge for anyone here at Moorpark.
Ooh, anyway, not even just not just students, right? It's anyone that can.
Yeah, anyone who
just walk in
comes,
the building.
you just go into the building,
Yeah.
exactly. Also coming up kind of in the Moorpark, Simi Valley area is Veterans Day at the Reagan Library, and that's on Friday, November 11th. And it's pretty much to honor the men and women who serve in the United States Armed Forces. And it's at the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. on November 11th. And that's off of Presidential Drive in Simi Valley. The outdoor event is free.
Ooh.
Yep.
Free, all
So
right.
be sure to come.
You ever been to the
and
Reagan Library?
I have it. It's pretty
It's
awesome.
nice, yeah.
Yeah.
They're doing a VR thing right now, aren't they?
I think so.
Yeah.
Is Air Force One still there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's cool. It's a cool exhibit.
Yeah. I always enjoy going. So there's going to be live music. There's going to be a Civil War encampment, military vehicle
The
display.
Civil War is going to be happening right there? Oh my God. I didn't know this year's election got that bad.
Exactly.
Beat me to it.
Yep. And veterans with a valid ID will also receive free admission to the museum on that day, on November 11th. Along with active military members are also free, and it's a great way to honor our armed forces, people who serve.
Yeah, definitely. More Park students should get out there and honor these armed forces personnel on Veterans Day, guys.
Hope.
Or just participate in the Civil War.
Leslie, we know you will be doing that, sure.
Yeah, dude. If you gave me a uniform and like a bayonet, I would be there.
So also happening the day after the Veterans Celebration at the Reagan Library, on November 12th, we have the Conejo Valley Film Festival. And that's 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. at California Lutheran University in Richter Hall. And Andrew, you want to tell us a little bit more about this?
Yeah, definitely. Something that really intrigues me about this film festival is it's not your traditional film festival with a bunch of amateur filmmakers battling it out with their movies. What it is it's movies filmed in the Conejo Valley area. So all movies,
Oh, cool.
they had scenes, or the whole thing was actually shot in the Conejo Valley area. And this year's film is going to be The Three Musketeers.
Oh, and that's a silent film.
It
correct?
is. It is 1921,
That's what
directed
Casey
by...
and her gang of friends is called.
It was filmed in 1921 in the Conejo Valley area, directed by Fred Niblo. Directed by Fred Niblo. So actually, this is the 5th year of the film festival, and it is The Three Musketeers will be the oldest movie that they have shown in the 5 years, and it is free for everybody, guys.
Ooh.
And what's going on
Nice.
before the movie's played?
Before the movie, they have a Cal Lutheran political science professor, Herb Gooch, will discuss the movie and its star, Douglas Fairbanks.
For more information, contact Timothy Hanks at 805-493-3241 or thanks@callutheran.edu, guys. Make sure to check that out.
Also with us today, we have Moorpark College theater art student Natalia Vivino, and she's a student in Professor Fagan's Acting 1 class, and she was actually nominated for an Ovation Award from the Los
Oh.
Angeles theater community.
Wow.
It's
So,
a huge deal.
Yeah,
Basically
and,
like the Oscars, but for the LA theater community.
yep, and this is going to take place on January 17th at
That's the award
Almason
ceremony.
Theater. Yeah, exactly, the awards ceremony. So we'll see how she does. We'll see how she does. She's one of 7 actresses nominated for Best Feature Actress in a musical for her portrayal of Yana in Children of Eden, which was a musical at the Cabrillo Music Theater. So Natalia, thank you for being on the show with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Of course.
Really excited.
So, could you kind of tell us a little bit of background on the award you were nominated for?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I was not expecting it at all because the Ovation Awards are really, the kind of people that get nominated for Ovation Awards are usually they're very experienced and they're, they've been performing for a long time. They've worked professionally in theater for a long time. So the fact that I even received the nomination is a huge, huge honor and came entirely unexpected. But it's the only peer-judged LA Theater Awards ceremony. Yeah, it's the only one in LA. So, how New York has, they have the Drama Desk Awards, they have the Tonys, they have their own types of award ceremonies out there that are for professional theater. So the Ovation Awards, that's the one for Los Angeles. Yeah, they have, there's a bunch of different professional productions that have been nominated and a lot of different actors. So that's basically what it is. Yeah.
And I see you're nominated for your portrayal of Yona,
Yona, yeah, you got it.
in Children of Eden. Tell me a little bit about that role.
Yeah, so Children of Eden is a musical that was composed by Steven Schwartz, who also did the music for Wicked. So he's the same composer for Wicked. Yeah, and the show, it's not a very well-known musical, but it's become one of my favorites, and it basically tells the story from the book of Genesis. So Act 1 is Adam and Eve, and Act 2 was where my character showed up with the Noah's Ark chapter. And Yona was a made-up character for that whole story with Noah's Ark, because if you guys are familiar with the story, Noah has 3 sons, and his youngest son, Japheth, in the musical is in love with the servant girl, Yona, and he wants her to come on the ark with him, but she can't because she bears the mark of Cain. And he sneaks her onto the boat, and all this stuff, all this drama unfolds. But that was her character, that was her role. So yeah, she was a supporting role in the show.
And how do you feel, why do you feel that it was because of that portrayal you were nominated? What was kind of her
Please toot your own horn for a little while.
Oh, God.
Why do you think you're nominated?
I don't know.
Maybe that's the wrong way to ask the question. Maybe just say, what did you put into the role?
Okay, I approached it like I approach any role that I receive. I worked really, really hard to do the best job that I could to convince the audience that it wasn't just an actress playing this part, that I was her. As to the best of my ability, I tried to really feel what she was feeling.
So what kind of character is she?
Oh, she's the kind of girl where she's, she seems very quiet and reserved, but she actually has this inner strength in her. She sings this whole song in Act 2 before Japheth convinces her to get on the ark with him. She sings the song called "Stranger to the Rain," and it's basically her accepting the fact that she's going to die. It's really dramatic and really intense. Yeah, but
Spoiler.
but that's basically what it is.
Dies because of the rain.
Yeah, because the flood.
True.
She knows she can't go on the ark. It's against God's wishes or whatever. But so
Or whatever.
she's
That guy.
no, she's
Whatever he
really
says.
really she's extremely brave and selfless, and so
So how did you imbue her with said traits?
with said traits? I tried. That's a tough question, because I just tried to kind of put myself in her. I tried to put myself in her shoes the best way that I could, and I just really made sure that I was in the moment on stage and feeling it. And if I was doing that, then I knew I was doing the right thing. And I just really loved her character, and that's basically it.
Do you feel that you have similar traits to the character?
Yeah, it's
Have
funny.
you accepted your own death yet?
Have I accepted death?
By
yeah,
song, preferably by a musical?
Oh God, death's coming for all of us. No, we don't have to get that morbid.
It is election day.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's funny because that whole year last year was it was a really lucky year for me, because before I was Yona, I was Wednesday Addams in the Addams family, who was very much not like me at all. She's I love her to death, pun intended. But when I played Yona, I knew pretty early on that we had things in common, especially with our just our personalities and our sensitivity to things.
So what is next for you after all of this?
What's next? Well, I'm in callbacks for a show right now. I have a callback tomorrow for it. Actually, I auditioned yesterday.
What show is it?
It was Wicked. So
yeah.
Okay.
What role did you audition for?
Elphaba.
You're gonna be popular.
Yeah, I'm excited. So there's that, and then I have an audition for Cabrillo's Sister Act next Monday, and Peter and the Starcatcher with.
Oh, busy person.
Cool.
Wow.
Stop having so much fun.
Look at you being all successful.
So also you have the awards, back to that real quick, because we're trying to wrap it up. How do you feel about hearing the results? Are you nervous, excited?
Oh, the most amazing part for me was just getting notified that I was nominated. It was through a text from our because my co-star and I were both
2016.
nominated. You know, the two of us were nominated, so our director texted us, and I didn't have his number back in my phone yet, so I was like, who is this guy? And he was like, you're both nominated for Ovation. Like, I'm so proud of you. And I thought it was a prank at first. I was like, what is this? I was like, there's no way. And then I realized that it was real and freaked out. So I can't at this point, I'm just gonna enjoy going down there and getting to to see all these really cool people and go to a party after and dress up that's I'm just happy that I'm
Nomination
nominated.
A win
itself
would just
is
be an
a little-
added bonus then, huh?
yeah
Nice. Well, Natalia, thank you so much for being on the show today. We wish you the best of
Congratulations.
Yeah,
luck.
Thank
congratulations.
you,
January
guys.
17th.
Yep.
Yeah, you guys were all really sweet. Thank you. I had
Thank
fun.
you.
Thank you.
All right.
This is 1015 KMCJ Moorpark College Jams. I'm Steven Suarez, and this is the Student Voice on Air. Coming up is the roundtable discussion, and seeing as it is Election Day, we're going to talk about voting.
Yeah, we are. Now, unfortunately, this podcast goes up on Thursday,
Yeah, so we're kind of predicting things here.
so we can't encourage you to go out and vote because you're 2 days late already.
But we can encourage the idea of voting.
Yeah, I like voting.
Right.
I had a great time this morning when I went to
I
vote.
still got to go out there.
Oh man.
So, Steve, you haven't voted yet?
No, because I had work at 7:30 in the morning.
Oh.
Yeah.
What about you, Casey?
I can't vote. I can't legally vote yet because I'm only 17.
Oh, my goodness. That's right.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah.
I know Leslie was out there this morning. I'm going right after this podcast, so
Yeah.
exciting
Yeah.
stuff, guys.
Gonna eat and then go.
Yeah, I wish I could vote. I mean, it's such. I can't wait till next election when I can because I just feel that if I was, I would know exactly. I've already read through everything. I know exactly how I would vote. I would love to take part in it, but
It feels good to take part.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah, it does feel good. So 2020, Casey's going to be involved in the country then, huh? Big decision.
scary.
I know when I was a senior in high school was when Obama was running against
Mitt Romney.
Mitt
you go.
Romney, yeah. And I was like, oh man, I wish I could vote. This is super exciting and cool. And now that it's Trump and Clinton, I was like, oh man, I wish I didn't have to vote.
Yeah.
Hey, but
can
remember,
understand
there's
that.
more to vote.
Yeah,
no,
Just
exactly.
The presidency,
That's-
guys.
exactly.
the key
Plastic
thing.
bags.
That's the key issue.
Proposition.
Oh my God.
Proposition,
Six-
senators,
60
local
something.
council members.
Yeah, no.
All on the ballot.
It's all very important.
No, it's that was the biggest thing today when I went was I spent so much time reading every proposition, making sure I knew what the arguments were, making sure I knew what the side effects of a proposition would be.
Yeah, pros and cons of
Yeah.
every decision.
Yeah.
Now, when you go into the voting booth,
Yeah.
does it just say yes or no on this, or does it have all the research and information for you to look at right there?
It has a summary of the proposition as well as predicted effects to fiscal.
Okay.
So
Okay.
some of them don't have much information because we don't know what the fiscal effects of this are going to be. But there is a summary of what the bill is.
Okay, and that's probably the same as what they have online on the California
It's the
website.
same information
.gov.
in your voter guide that you probably received in the mail,
Right.
or if you saw it online. It's the same
I totally
information.
looked through.
but it's summarized. Bring your book.
I know,
I
I
walked
probably
in with my
should.
book.
I should.
Yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, I encourage everyone to, even though I can't necessarily vote yet, but encourage everyone to research before they even go in to vote.
There are some
Research,
crazy
you know.
propositions, man.
Yeah.
There are
There
some
are.
really, really scary ones. Like 57, which is parole for nonviolent criminals, but it doesn't apply to sex offenders, so they could get early parole under this proposition. I thought that was scary. I was like,
Yeah.
I would consider that. I would consider
Yeah,
rape violent crime.
I actually went
I
to
thought that had
went
something to
the
do
same
with youth parole, or is that a different? That's a
no,
different proposition.
Same proposition, but that's an addition to the same proposition.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it gives. God, I don't want to quote it without knowing what it exactly says, but it allows part of the trial to determine whether or not to try a juvenile as a juvenile or an adult.
Right. That's what it was.
Yeah, but that's part of the same proposition.
Okay.
There's so many different aspects of each proposition. You know?
Yeah,
There's
no,
so much wrapped up.
You
into
can't just
one.
read 3 sentences on it and be like, oh, I get it.
Yeah.
They have
Yeah.
so many just tertiary effects. So studying is paramount.
crucial.
Bring your guides, everybody.
Yeah, and then the polls close at
8
8 p.m. tonight. So
Yeah.
I guess if you're in line, it's 7:59. They can't.
They have to let you
They
in.
cannot-
Legal
yeah,
obligation.
they cannot close the polls if there are still people in line. Doesn't matter if it's 10:30 at night. As long as there's people in line, you can still go vote.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why do we vote on a Tuesday?
Well, we did a little bit of research on this. Well, our producer did a little bit of research on this. And apparently it comes from when America was an agrarian society. market days were Wednesdays.
Oh.
And traveling to a place where you could vote would take more time than just 20 minutes to drive to your local polling place. So the only day that was available for people who had to come back and run their farms or their livestock was Tuesday.
Wow.
And for some reason, we've kept it that way. I don't know why we don't have the day off. I feel like we should have the day off to go
Yeah,
vote.
day off.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you can't, if you're working all day.
Yeah.
Like, I went in this morning 7:30. Fortunately, I was out at noon to come do this. But if I had to work until 7 p.m., which is the case on some days, and I have to drive all the way home and then go to figure out where my polling place is. I know where it is, but like,
Theoretically, you should know.
theoretically,
where
I
it is.
should be able to make it. But let's say that, for whatever reason, I can't get in there in the morning, and then I have to go to work, and I don't get out until past 8.
I just I haven't heard an argument against it, but I don't understand why we don't just have the day. It seems like such an important thing to go out and do. It's literally what our entire government is based on. Why it's not a holiday to go out and participate in?
But would you say it's a holiday though?
I think it's I think it's worthy of holiday status.
yeah,
holiday
exactly. I think it is.
Holiday's like, whew. Well, I guess granted,
I think it's
some years-
celebratory.
This is celebrating our democracy, our right to choose, guys.
And that's fair.
I think it's totally celebratory. I felt triumphant walking out of that booth today.
Well, I hope I have the same feeling as I'm leaving. Although I do know that all of the California propositions are really the primary reason I'm going to vote.
Yeah, that was why I went. Like the presidential election,
that's decided before we even get the opportunity to vote.
it's a big thing. Presidential election's a big thing. It's big and it's scary and it's certainly what you've heard the most about. But it shouldn't be why you go and vote, especially if you live in a small California town.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've talked to people and I've asked them, I was discussing with my friends the other day, so if you don't like either candidate, what do you do? Do you make a decision? Do you not vote on the presidents? And they were telling me that, honestly, they're just going to go and vote the propositions, I've heard. But then I've also heard people where it's, I just read their platforms and whatever platform I agree with, even though if they don't like one or the other.
I've heard
So
people say they're just going to vote on propositions, then write in Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
you can
that's
do
what
a
I've heard.
write-in vote. Vote for your
Write in
friends.
Michelle. Don't write in
I
Mickey
was talking to
Vote
someone,
for Steven Suarez, guys.
No, don't do that.
and they were saying that Mickey Mouse gets like so many votes every
He does.
election
He
year.
does.
Why
Oh,
Mickey? What?
Well, why not Mickey Mouse?
Yes.
Hey,
That is
look,
hilarious.
Disney took over Star Wars. Disney took over Avengers.
And then what's the next thing?
The country, obviously.
Country.
Yeah.
It's J.J. Abrams.
So why
Deciding
do
the
you
election.
guys? I want to know, why do you guys think there's such low voter turnout? I know that you guys have probably learned that here in America, we're obviously allowed to choose our president, but so many people don't come out to make that choice. What's your guys' thoughts on this?
I think it has to do with fiscal responsibility. Like, the main people who probably know enough about elections to go out and vote in an educated manner are parents or people who work every day. And when you get up, like Steven said, you get up at 6 in the morning to go to work at 9 a.m., you've got those 2 hours to get up, get ready, get showered, take care of your kids, feed your kids lunch, get them to school, go to work, come back at 5. Like, it's just it's not feasible for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So maybe that day off, like you were saying, would really open up a lot of people's opportunity.
And there is early voting.
There is early
I know
voting.
both my
there are
parents
tons, yeah, let's
did
not
early
let's
voting.
not
That's
let's
true.
not forget to include, like, there's early voting, there's mail voting, like there's so many opportunities to take advantage of it prior to that. But I feel like until the day of the election, no one's really thinking, that's next week, or that's next month. Like, that's I haven't read the propositions yet. Like, you need to.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I actually did read all the propositions before. Obviously, I haven't voted yet, but I have read all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember what they are.
California has a lot of propositions. Like, I know the Massachusetts ballot just has 4 questions. It's
What?
president and 3 other things.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, California is the second biggest market, or is it? No, it is the. What is it? As far as Texas hates us for this because we're a bigger state than they are. But
We have a larger economy than some
yeah, that's
small
what it is.
countries.
Yeah.
And so California's economy is, and I don't want to get this fact wrong. It's like either the 3rd or 4th biggest economy in the world.
It's something.
Just California alone.
just California alone.
California alone.
And so that's why you see a lot more more propositions for California, because there is a need for more issues for California than for Massachusetts. Is great. Love Massachusetts.
Let's not get mean about Massachusetts,
No,
man.
I love them. But I mean, that's how that goes.
I think just California's size, like, there's just so much,
Yep.
with so many people here and with so much land to even just, like, encompass, there's there's too much to just say, oh, we can cover it in a few short propositions. Like,
Yeah.
the issues of Southern California versus the issues of Northern California, like they're completely different. They're completely different environments. They're completely different societies. They're completely different, like, cultural landscapes. It's immeasurable.
And that's where you get, I mean, this is a completely different argument, but, there's always that, well, should we split up California into a North and South? And have two
I'm
separate
down,
economies?
guys. I'm down. I'm sick of those NorCal people, guys.
I'm from NorCal.
Oh no.
I live Central California, so I would be like right on the cutoff.
Get that nice blending there. Oh, man. I want to talk about plastic bags. I keep bringing this up.
Man, you're
Which prop
mad
is
about
that? Which prop is that one?
I need to find out which prop this
You're
is.
really
so
mad
I can
about
keep
this
talking
plastic
about
bag
it.
thing.
No, I'm not mad, but I just think it's so interesting, and it is significant too. I mean, you think about how many plastic bags are used each day by grocery stores and other stores like that.
So you're talking about the tax, right?
Yes, but there's also the proposition to get rid of them.
Yeah.
And that would create the tax, because if they want to keep using plastic bags, which are cheaper than everything else, they're going to charge us more in order to pay that tax. And then where does that tax go?
That's one of the props, right? Where the tax goes,
Yes.
whether it goes to the store or
Doesn't it say
the
it goes to
government.
education?
Does it?
I seem to remember.
I don't
reading
know.
that.
I haven't looked it. I'm going to look it up right now. I do know that because there was two props for that one.
Yeah.
One was a follow-up, and the first one was going to determine whether or not we would officially ban
The one I
plastic
voted
bags.
yes on today was the money goes to school districts.
I'll take it. I'll vote yes on that too.
Yeah, that was the one that I read.
I don't want to spend more money when I go to the grocery store.
I don't care. I don't. When I go to a grocery store, I usually don't buy bags. I usually either get something really small and take it in just my hands, or if I need a bag, I'll bring a burlap bag. Like,
But you're so ahead of our times, Leslie.
Not everyone has a burlap bag.
ahead of the times.
No, I
really
actually-
living in the future here.
I actually went to school in Irvine last year, and the whole entire city of Irvine has banned plastic bags. So when you go to grocery store there, it's just paper bags.
Yeah, like half California has already banned plastic bags.
Right. And so, okay, so it's Proposition 67.
There you go.
And a yes vote would support banning bags. And then the other one would talk about the tax.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's something that, is so subtle but so important.
Well, I mean, everyone goes to the grocery store.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to see
It's
this.
so taken for granted.
I think it's interesting. I'm sorry, I'm going to move away from plastic bags.
Oh,
for
it's fine.
Just the last little bit of our conversation here. Obviously, this won't be much of an insult for anyone listening on Thursday, but the Greeks came up with the word idiot. Did you know this?
I did not.
So the word idiot is originally a Greek term. And you know what idiot referred to?
No.
Someone who wasn't politically or socially active. So if you don't vote today,
Ooh.
by the literal term idiot, you're an idiot.
Thanks, Leslie.
Yeah.
Well, food for thought. Thank you, Leslie Kivett, Francisco Molina, Andrew Mason, and Casey Ahern for keeping us informed. This has been the Student Voice on Air, a radio show and podcast written, hosted, edited, and produced by journalism and FTVM media students at Moorpark College. For additional news and information, please log on to the Student Voice webpage at StudentVoiceOnline.com. That's StudentVoiceOnline.com. I'm Steven Suarez. Thanks for listening and being informed. This is 1015 KMCJ, Moorpark College Jams.